everyone, and thank you for taking the time to tune in for this presentation tonight. Please allow me to introduce myself to you. My name is Erin Kochanek, and I am a high school history teacher at Global Learning Charter Public School in New Bedford, Massachusetts. I have a bachelor's in history with a minor in religious studies, a master of arts in teaching, and I am actually currently enrolled in a master's of American history program with GLI in Pace University. While I work with students in grades 9 through 12, it should be emphasized that you do not need to work with high school students in order to benefit from participating in this PD. My goal here is to give you some concrete examples of how I personally have employed sensory and experiential learning components into my curriculum to enhance the learning experience for my students, and to remind you that you can do this too. I will do my best to keep this presentation short, sweet, and to the point. So step one. Perhaps the first step is realizing that while we can do so much with our students in the classroom, there are experiences that we cannot give them, and realizing that is okay. Fortunately, I work in a district that supports my use of field studies off-site. However, if your district does not support this, you can consider bringing in guest speakers and participating in virtual field trips, amongst other things. Step two, make time to plan. Honestly, I would be lying to you if I did not share that I do work on some of this aspect outside of my scheduled workday. But I can also share with you that I firmly believe I am giving my students opportunities that they might not otherwise ever have. Use the skills you already have as an educator and map out exactly what you'd like to accomplish, and communicate your plan effectively with your school district. Which leads me to step three. Networking is key. You need to be persistent. Reach out to the people or facilities you would like to work with to iron out pertinent details of your trip. While I certainly have emailed people and facilities, I have also directly called and at times, when necessary, gone in person to discuss what I would like to achieve. And no, I have not always gotten my way, although I do very much enjoy when I do. Explain what you can and cannot do. For example, when I take my students to a restaurant, I make it clear exactly what the maximum amount of money that each student can potentially contribute in order to participate. My personal experience has been one where the restaurants have been more than willing to work with me, and the ones who cannot let me know that right away. Here are some concrete examples of how I have incorporated the sensory and experiential component of learning and building relationships with local businesses to meet the needs of my students. Number one, when I teach my students about topics in world history, such as World War II, the Holocaust, and Judaism, I can actually only go so far in the classroom, but I have been fortunate to work with Rabbi Cantor, who was more than willing to talk to my students about Judaism at Tiferet Israel Congregation, which is local to where my school is. After our visit, we took a short walk to Abraham Landau's Holocaust Memorial Monument. I have also had my students complete a case study in class on Oskar Schindler, and then we watched Schindler's List together in class. Another great resource, which is available online, is Eyewitness USC Show Foundation. You can actually create digital classrooms and assign your students a number of activities. It has a wealth of resources there for you. Number two, when I teach my students about the age of exploration, the spice trade, and the dharmic traditions of India, I work to include taking them to visit places like Sri Lakshmi Temple. And since this is an all-day trip, instead of going out to eat at McDonald's, although I do love their French fries, we go out and eat at Biryani Pot Restaurant. Since my school district does not allow us to bring food into the classroom, this is a really fun way to get the kids to sample dishes that they might not really try at home. I also have been fortunate to take my students to Wat Nawa Mintarar Chudas Meditation Center, where they received a personalized tour from the Thai Buddhist monks. WNMC is, from my understanding, the largest Thai Buddhist temple outside of Thailand, and it is only about 25 minutes from my school. Since we visited a Thai temple, we also made time to sample Thai food at Savalai Thai Cuisine in Fairhaven, Mass. We also had a very unique opportunity of visiting other places, like the Jain Center of Greater Boston this year. Number three, who doesn't like going to the movies? So when Hotel Mumbai was released, I could not help myself but plan a trip to AMC theaters so that we could watch a movie together as a class. I will admit, though, that I did physically go to the mall and ask to speak to a manager directly to communicate what I wanted. I am also currently working on taking my current 9th grade students to see the film Harriet, which leads me to reinforce that persistence is key. We were supposed to see this movie before we left for our Christmas break, and we had a snow day. So I rescheduled the trip for a second time, and then we had a late start. So I am actually still currently working on planning out this trip again right now, so hopefully the third time's a charm. One way to help defray the cost is to go on a Tuesday, and AMC makes a fun optional snack pack for the students to get their salty, sweet drink fix for a relatively reasonable price. 4, teaching about colonial life. Perhaps consider taking your students to Plymouth Plantation for the day. While it is true that the students and chaperones can buy food there, from my personal opinion, I feel that it's not the cheapest. Just hope for a nice day so your crew can eat their bagged lunches outside. 5, sometimes we just run out of time to do everything that we would like to do, but that doesn't mean you cannot encourage your students to go out on their own time to complete some fun learning activities. Last year, I offered my students extra credit for going out into the New Bedford community, and I had them take a picture, or a selfie, of themselves at the Massachusetts 54th Regiment mural, which is painted on the side of Freestone's restaurant, and then the Frederick Douglass mural. I am currently working to build off of this idea for my students this year, so please stay tuned for an update about how I'm working with the businesses in the downtown New Bedford area. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my PD, and feel free to reach out to me if you have questions. Just remember, you are all awesome. You have some amazing ideas. Look to your own communities to see what's available in your own surrounding communities to meet the needs of your students. And even if your students don't thank you right away, they will remember it and thank you in the long run. Thank you again. Have a great day.